Good evening, I'm Laura Lee.
And I'm Dan Wolf. Thanks for joining us. As we first reported Friday, the man accused of threatening to shoot out the windows of Laura MacArthur Elementary is no longer behind bars.
It is something that has a lot of parents on edge, and the district and police taking extra precautions. 72-year-old Richard Neault is charged with threats of violence and reckless disregard after he threatened to shoot into Laura MacArthur Elementary School on the 11th.
A search warrant executed at his home turned up a semi-automatic military-style weapon and a homemade shotgun, along with various ammunition. Now, the guns were seized, but Friday, Neault posted bail and was released from jail.
Northern News Now's Kyrie Johnson is live outside of the school tonight. Kyrie, you heard from several concerned parents today.
Yeah, Laura and Dan, I'm here at the elementary school, and as you can see behind me, there's not police here anymore, but they were here earlier during the day for drop-off and pickup times following the release of Neault to help provide extra security while parent concerns continue to grow. Parents in the pickup line Monday expressing a mix of relief that a tragedy was averted and frustration that a man who has threatened the school is back in close proximity. Kyla Peterson told me it was difficult to bring her kids to school today.
I had some anxiety about it, but me and my husband talked about it, and we talked about how they're going to have a police officer here and that he's under very strict supervision.
Some of those conditions Peterson is referring to include checking in with a probation officer every 48 hours, not possessing any firearms, and completing treatment through the St. Louis County Veterans Treatment Court. Chief Mike Sanoa tells me Neault has completed the process of going through the Veterans Court, and he is now home.
You know, it is a difficult process. It requires more supervision than normal, and there are several steps to take to make it through that court successfully.
But despite going through the court, Chief Sanoa understands parent concerns.
I have 3 children in the district. It's things that I think about as well. So make sure that, you're keeping an eye on things and know that we are too.
DPD has court-ordered an extreme risk protection, also known as a red flag law, against Neault. This order makes it illegal for Neault to own, use, or buy guns. But parents still have concerns about Neault being released so soon.
So I feel like he wasn't in there long enough, and if anything, I feel like he should have to move away from the school and shouldn't be able to be around kids, if that's his way of thinking.
DPD says they'll continue to work closely with the district to provide safety measures whenever possible. They also assure me that Neault no longer has any weapons in his residence. Live in Duluth, Kyrie Johnson, Northern News Now.
Thank you, Kyrie. To see the original email sent to Laura MacArthur parents when Neault was released from jail, you can use the Northern News Now app.